My name is Kelsie, and we're going to do an hour-long yoga class today. So before we get started, some props to have nearby that will be helpful are 2 blocks, and if you don't have any blocks at home, then you can use 2 books. Finding a yoga strap, and again, if you don't have a strap at home, feel free to grab a scarf or a tie. And then having a yoga blanket and a makeshift one at home could easily be a bath towel or a beach towel, anything that is around this size and shape. So to get started, we're going to lie down on our backs in constructive rest. My knee bones are going to be pointed up towards the sky as wide as my hip bones, feet flat, shoulders nice and grounded on the mat as my head is down as well, gaze up towards the sky. We're going to start by placing one hand on top of our heart and one hand on top of our belly. As I breathe in, I'm trying to fill up the entire body so that my belly expands and my heart reaches a little higher to the clouds. Big breath in. The entire exhale is going to soften through the body. Let go. As you breathe in, see if you can lift the hand with the belly and lift the hand with the heart. Nice big inhale. Exhale, squeeze your navel towards your spine, almost like you're doing a core crunch. Squeeze out all the air. Allow the low back to get even flatter to the earth. Very good. So you're going to stay with your own rhythm of breath, almost like you're trying to have this oceanic breath, or you're trying to fog up the entire room that you're in. Big audible inhale. And an audible exhale. Up to you if you want to keep the breath coming in and out through the nose. Anything that's authentic or natural to you. The goal here is trying to move our entire body just with our breath, so that later on in our practice, when we start moving and going into certain poses, we can link each pose, each movement to our breath. So from here, see if you can now count how many seconds it takes you to fill up your entire body. Try to go nice, steady, and slow. Then for your exhale, see if you can match the same amount of seconds it took you to breathe in. And if you want more of a calming breath, feel free to lengthen the time of your exhales as opposed to your inhales. That will just bring on your parasympathetic nervous system, that calming nervous system. Will help chill you out even more. So from here, I'm going to just reach my arms up towards the sky, stacking my wrists over my shoulders. My fingertips are up towards the clouds. And I'm going to have my palms face one another. So my thumbs are to the back wall, pinkies forwards. Inhale, open those arms out nice and wide to your wingspan. And I'm going to toe heel my feet out as wide as my mat. So my feet are wider than my hip bones. From here, allow your knees to just gently floss side to side, windshield wipers. They'll both fall to the right and then to the left. Again, feel free to take these at your own pace. You could always go a little faster, a little slower. There's no right or wrongs. And if you want to linger with those knees on one side for a few breaths, that feels good sometimes in my body. But just listening to yourself, noticing how you feel. We'll meet with both knees pointing back up towards the sky. I'm now going to toe heel my feet towards one another, and I'm going to open the knees out wide like a butterfly. Soles of the feet are going to kiss. So to make this a little easier, allow the heels, the feet to scoot farther away from your glutes. If you want more intense of a stretch, allow those heels to kiss closer towards the glutes. So choose where you want those feet to be, and allow yourself to do little butterfly wing flaps here. So I bring my knees up about 3 inches, and then I let them fall down completely. So just moving those knees up and down as the soles of the feet kiss together. And then we'll find a pause, allow both knees to open nice and wide. Knees heavy, I'm now just going to lift my arms up overhead again, wrists over my shoulders. As I exhale, palms shine forward, and I allow my arms to drop completely behind my head. So you should feel a little opening in the back body right now as we relax through the hips and allow the knees to be heavy. Big inhale here. Allow the belly button to head up towards the sky, the stars. Exhale, completely soften, relax the hands, shoulders, hips, feet, and knees. As we exhale, I'm now going to allow myself to roll onto my entire left side of my body. My right knee is going to come on top of my left, my shoulders stack, and my hands stack. Big breath in here. And then we're just going to come back through center. So I'm going to come back onto my back body, knees open wide to that Supta Baddha, that butterfly. And I'm going to take it to the right side. Left knee on top of right. Stack my shoulders, my hands. Coming back through center, open the knees. And back over to the left. So going at your own pace, side to side now, completely opening the knees through center. Allowing everything to stack when you're on your side body. I'll meet you back in center, that nice Supta Baddha, knees wide, arms reaching behind you. As you exhale, you're going to, like a snow angel, swim those arms all the way down by your sides, palms to the outside of your thighs, like you're closing a book. Close those knees together. I'm going to hug those knees into the chest. So I'm just having my hands gently basket outside top of my shins. You could have it underneath your knees, wherever's comfortable. I'm just going to allow my knees to now rock side to side. A nice little massage for your back. Staying with that nice breath. And try to let go of any unnecessary tension. So there's no need to hold any tension in your face, in your shoulders, or your head or neck. Allowing those knees to land back through center. You can now choose for the hands to be on top of the knees, or the knees can be free. I'm going to make 2 separate circles, drawing my kneecaps onto the sky. So the knees swim away from one another, and then they'll kiss back to center. You can start with these circles more small on the small side, and get a little bigger with each inhale. Trying to send that breath, all your energy towards your hip flexors. As you exhale, we'll just change direction. So draw those circles the other way in space. Again, if those hands ever want to come off the knees, they can. Three more big belly breaths here. After that third exhale, We'll squeeze the knees and the ankles back together. And now we're going to draw one giant circle on the ceiling with both our knees. So as I do this, again, I'm starting a little smaller than my full range of motion. The further you allow those knees to go away from your navel, the more of the lower core, more of the abdominals are going to be worked. So you can always choose how much of an intensity you want to bring into your practice. Squeezing the legs towards the midline, so you actively use those leg muscles as they're pressing into one another. Again, you'll find a nice exhale and change directions. Go the other way. Landing back through center, I'm now going to go to legs up the wall. So I straighten my legs from here, ankles stacked over the hips. If this is really tight for your hamstrings or your low back, feel free to put a bend into your knees. It doesn't matter how much the knees bend, as long as those ankles stay over the hip bones. So we're just going to play around here with our feet. So as I inhale, I'm going to point my 10 toes up towards the sky, like a ballerina, point them up. And then exhale, I'm going to flex my feet and spread the 10 toes wide. So it's like you can see the ceiling between the toes. Inhale to point. Exhale to flex. Up and down. Feel free to put those arms wherever you'd like. We're just focusing on the ankles right now. Maybe you do one foot at a time. And now we're going to draw circles with our 10 toes. So just rolling out the ankles. The feet can go in the same direction or opposite. And as you exhale, just going the other way, making sure you even out the stretch. Then you choose, either have these feet pointed, flexed, or maybe somewhere in between. And we're going to bend both knees back into the chest. But from here, as I exhale, I keep the knees bent and I bring them towards my armpits. I open them up out wide, and I close the knees back through center. So bring them out wide, knees stay bent, and then close them back in. Pressing down through the head here, shoulders grounded, low back stays on the floor. Very good. We'll come back through center, knees can kiss, and then just allow that left leg to go long as the right knee stays into the chest. As I exhale here, I'm just taking a spinal twist. So I bring that right knee over to the left side of my mat, and I like to shimmy my left hip so it's stacked right under my right. I get a deeper twist to the low back that way. And I'm going to open my arms out wide. You could always place that blanket, block, or a pillow under the right knee or shin if you want a little height there, a little softening. Your gaze could stay upwards. If you want more of a twist, switch your gaze, your drishti, down your right arm. It will stretch the neck. And if you want less of a twist, gaze down the left arm. So you choose where you want to put your gaze. Wherever you are, big breath in. Exhale, squeeze the stale air out. Allow the right shoulder to soften. And then up to you, you can stay here with the right knee bent, Or you can see what it feels like to straighten that right leg completely. A little more of a stretch through the hamstrings. Big breath in. Big breath out. From here, we're all going to bend that right knee again towards 90 degrees. I'm pressing down into my left forearm, squeezing my core so all my muscles are active to bring that right knee back over my right hip. Squeeze the right knee into the chest as I basket my hands over my right shin, and I'll take a core crunch here. Exhale to pick up my head, squeeze my nose towards my knee, and then an inhale, lower one vertebrae at a time, head softens. We'll exchange the legs. So my left knee now comes in, my right leg is long. As I exhale, I bring that left knee over towards the right, take a spinal twist there, and again I scooch my right hip back so it's more stacked under the left. Opening my arms out wide to their wingspan, palms face up. You choose where you want to place your drishti, your gaze. But allowing the twist to happen here as we breathe and soften. As I inhale, I think of my spine growing taller even though I'm twisted. And as I exhale again, that navel heads towards my spine, empty out the lungs. Maybe you twist even deeper with the help of your exhale. Optional, you can see what it's like to straighten the left leg completely. A little more of a stretch here through the back of the leg. Again, you could always place that left leg on top of your blocks or a pillow, whatever you have at home, if you want to bring the earth closer towards you. I'm going to bend back into my left knee, so we'll all meet there, left knee at 90, left foot flexed. Again, use the power of that right forearm, squeezing the muscles, bringing that left knee back over the left hip. I'm now going to basket my hands on top of my left shin, squeezing left knee into the chest. Exhale, picking up the head, bringing the nose towards left knee. Take that core crunch. Nice and slow, the inhale lowers you down one vertebrae at a time. The head lowers last. So I'm going to have my right knee just join the left, both knees back into the chest. Give yourself a little rock here, side to side. I'll plant my feet now as wide as my mat or wider than my hips. My knees are now going to kiss towards one another, so towards the middle. Knees in closer than the hips, feet out wider, and I come onto the knife edge, the big toe side of my feet, to give me even more of a stretch here. Sometimes people like just staying still here, sometimes that feels best. If you do want to add a little movement, feel free to drop one knee under the other, but try to keep those knees in line with your hips or further in between the hips. So it's not like those knees are going out really wide right now. We're just keeping those knees towards the midline to work on internally rotating those hips. Very good. We'll come back through center, so both knees towards the middle, and then see if you can bring those feet out a little wider. See if you can deepen the stretch at all. If not, stay where you are and breathe. Again, there's no right or wrongs or better or worse than. Every skeleton's different, every body's different, so you'll just notice what your sweet spot is and just stay there. We're going to bring those knees to point up to the sky, toe heel our feet back in, hip distance apart. Knees will hug into the chest, And you can rock and roll to find a seated pose, or just feel free to spill the knees off to one side of the mat and pick yourself up. So once you're seated, you're now going to come onto your hands and your knees to find a tabletop. If you'd like, you can find that blanket or that towel, whatever cushioning you want. If you want to place it under the knees, it just gives you some extra padding if the knees are kind of bony or if you're working on hardwood floors. So my wrists are stacked under my shoulders, knee bones under the hip bones. I'm spreading my fingers super wide so I can see the color of my mat. I'm mostly going to plug into my thumb and my forefinger, almost like little pincher crabs, so that you get more of the weight there than dumping into your wrists. My elbows, I'm going to rotate them towards the back wall as much as they can. So if you can't get them fully to point behind you, have them heading that direction. And then put little micro bends into your elbows so that we're more in our muscles rather than bone on bone. So soft elbows, little bends, fingers spread wide, thumbs and forefingers are pressing firmly into the earth. With our nice foundation here, you can choose to either curl the 10 toes or keep them uncurled. It's really a preference that's up to you. As we inhale, we're now going to lift up our head, our heart, and drop your belly, coming into our cow pose like there's a little kid sitting on your back. As you exhale, I push into my hands and my knees, drop my head, arch my spine like a hollowing cat. Inhale is your cow, and the entire exhale is your cat. So go at your own pace, back and forth, trying to find a ripple or a wave through your spine. Let's say 5 more big belly breaths right where you are. Moving in any way you need. Maybe you shake out the head and the hips a little as you're here. But coming back to that neutral tabletop, the core is up and in, and the navel's towards the spine. As I exhale, I'm going to send that left leg back to the left wall, so my left heel's in line with my left hip, my left toes are down. Nice and slow, I'm going to land my left toes at the back of my mat so the toes are curled under, and I'm then going to shift the weight forwards and backwards, letting the shoulders go beyond the wrists and behind them. Feeling the stretch through the Achilles heel. We'll meet with those shoulders back over our wrists, picking up the left heel in line with that left hip, and exhale, tap left toes down. Inhale to lift, exhale to lower. A few more times. We'll bring that left heel back in line with our left hip. As we exhale, we're going to see how long we can send that left leg out towards left wall, hover it in space, then landing the left foot down. So my left toes are pointed forwards the same direction as my fingers. As I exhale, I'm going to take a one-legged child's pose. So sending my glutes back to my right heel, my left toes can come up, yours can stay down, and then you're not going to maybe reach the head to the floor here, but I'm just going to drip my elbows down and bow my head towards the ground. Big breaths here. An inhale pulls me up to a tabletop, and I'm going to use my muscles in my left leg to bring that left foot, hover it off the earth like you're slicing the left wall, send it back behind you, return the left knee under the left hip. A few cats and cows here. returning to neutral. And again, we're going to send that right leg now behind us, curl the right toes under, and allow yourself to shift your weight forwards and backwards. Keeping your navel towards your spine here, so our core is engaged. Meeting with those shoulders over the wrists, right heel picks up in line with the right hip, bringing it over towards the right wall, slicing that right wall, hover, almost like you're a puppet and the puppet master is pulling that right foot even higher. Then let it land down. So my right toes are in line with my left knee, approximately or around there. One-legged child's pose. I send my hips back towards my left heel. My right toes can come up or they can stay down. And again, I just drip my elbows down, allow my brain to bow towards the earth. Breathing here. Pulling back up through center, picking up my right foot. Again, you want to slice the wall, feel the glutes engage. Right foot back wall, heel in line with the right hip, returning the right knee down. We'll bring both knees out really wide, big toes touching, finding a child's pose here with both legs. Allow the forehead to drop to the floor, arms forward. So, from that child's pose, maybe your dog has arrived. Sunday's with us now, but we're going to grab those 2 blocks, or again, if you're at home, feel free to grab 2 books or anything that's around this size and shape. I'm going to have them underneath my hands. You can keep that nice blanket, pillow, whatever is underneath your knees for the cushioning there. So my wrists, my blocks are stacked under my shoulders. My knees are under my hips. I'm now going to exhale and bring that cat-like back into my body, but now bringing the right knee towards my nose and then sending my right foot forward so it's between the blocks. So my right knee is approximately at that 90-degree angle, and I'm going to scooch my left knee back about 2 inches, just so I get more of a stretch to that left hip flexor. Again, left toes can be curled or uncurled. From here, I'm going to shift that weight forwards and backwards again. So my right knee goes behind my right ankle and then in front of my right ankle. You want to think of keeping that chest lifted, the shoulders down your back. If you feel like you are strong enough right now or flexible enough, you could always remove those blocks and plant them framing your foot, but the blocks could just stay there throughout the entire sequence. As I hold this here, I'm now going to move my right hand inside my right foot, so that block can come with you. Again, maybe here's where you hold it, and this is enough for you right now. If you want to take it even further here, I'm going to come onto my right pinky edge, the knife edge of the pinky edge of the foot, and open my right knee out towards the right wall. A bigger hip opener here through my right hip flexor. And then if you feel like a few breaths here is good, you could stay, or you could lower down onto your forearms or onto the blocks as well with those forearms. Again, this just amps up the stretch, so please go at your own pace and don't go past your limit. Breathing here. If you'd like to assist yourself in furthering the stretch at all, you can bring the right hand inside the right thigh and gently just open the right knee a little more. Wherever you are, whatever option you decided is best for you, let's take 5 big belly breaths here. On that fifth exhale, if you're on your forearms, just return onto your palms. We can remove the blocks out of the way, planting the right sole of the foot back down. I'm now going to shift my weight into my left hip, my left leg. I'm going to shift my gaze. I'm going to start looking towards the right, spinning my heart to the right. So keep going, keep spinning until you're all the way facing the back of your mat. You're going to make a figure 4 shape with your legs. So my left leg's long, my right knee's out to the right wall, my right foot is flexed. Big breath in here, shoulders over your hips, nice and tall. I'm going to reach my arms up to the sky as well. As I exhale, I hinge my hips so I keep a nice flat back. That may mean that in your body you only go about 1/2 inch here. So just hold it here. We're not really thinking about dropping anything down right now. Feeling the stretch to the low back, the back of the left leg. If you want to take it further, now you can exhale and use that to round the back, dripping the head down. Maybe you grab onto your shin, your pant leg, or your foot. You could always use that strap here around the left foot as well. Head heavy. Inhale, we're going to pick those arms back up, shoulders over the hips. Please stay in that figure 4 shape if that's enough of a hip opener for you. If you want to add on to it, you can find your fire log, bending the left knee as well. I'm stacking my shins on top of one another. Both feet are staying flexed. Big breath in, big breath out. If you want to take a fold again, if you were in that figure 4 shape, do what we did prior. If you're in this fire log, again, same rules apply. Nice and tall. Exhale, hinge just from your hips. Maybe you only go 1/2 inch or an inch or so, and then when you're ready, perhaps you take the fold on an exhale. You can lower to those blocks again, but allowing everything to soften. As I inhale, plug down through my palms, return the shoulders over my hips. We'll meet you in that figure 4 if that's where you are. Big breath in, arms will reach back up to the sky, legs nice and long. As you exhale, slowly just lower onto your back, arms behind you, a nice long line. Coming onto your bellies, rolling over onto your navel. Allowing those palms to come into your low ribs, elbows at 90 degrees, finding that cobra, picking up the heart and the head, and pressing back into your hands and your knees, that tabletop pose. So feel free to place that blanket back under the knees and returning those blocks under those hands if you liked how they were before. Wrists over under the shoulders, knees under the hips. I'm going to find that cat-like back, bringing that left knee towards the nose, squeeze everything out, and then step the left foot quietly between the blocks or hands. Again, I'm going to scooch my right knee just a little bit back beyond my right hip so that I have a little more of a stretch through my right hip flexor. And from here, find the movement forwards and backwards. My left knee goes beyond the ankle, and then back behind my ankle. Be careful about the heart and the chest. You want to keep it lifted. We don't want to be sinking down. We want to keep nice and tall through our spine, through your crown. And we'll find a place to pause here. Left knee at 90. You can just stay with these blocks and maybe just stay in this pose and you press through the peace fingers, and this is enough for you right now. If you want to switch it up and go a little further into a deeper intense stretch, I'm going to move my hands inside my left foot. And I'm going to toe heel my left foot towards the edge of my mat. Again, staying here, maybe blocks under the palms, or you can open up the left knee even more. Come onto left pinky edge, finding that lizard pose. Holding the pose as you breathe. If after a few breaths you want even more, feel free to lower to those forearms. Again, blocks under the forearms can help bring the earth towards you. If you'd like to assist yourself in this stretch, the left palm inside the left thigh can push the left knee further away. We're all going to meet back with our hands down on the mat. The left foot's going to be flat. We're now going to start placing the weight more towards our right hip, our right side body, as my heart and my gaze looks over to the left and beyond the left knee. Keep going, keep twirling until eventually we land completely on that right leg, and that left knee bends, and you make that figure 4 shape with the left ankle stacked over the right thigh. Flexing the right toes, arms can reach up wide towards the sky. We keep that nice tall spine, and I'm just gonna hinge at my hips. Again, maybe only go like half an inch and just hold it here. You wanna think of that length. Inhale, come back, shoulders over hips. If you'd like, just stay in this nice figure 4 shape. You could relax the hands. Maybe you work on bringing that left heel, that left foot higher up towards the right hip. Big breath in. Or if you want to take the fold with me, I'm going to hinge back with my hips being the hinge point. Then the exhale, I round the back, drooping my head. You can grab onto your pant leg. You could use that strap. Inhale to pick yourself up. Maybe staying in that figure 4, or if you want to come to your fire log, bending that right knee that's under the left foot, stacking the shins, both feet flexed. Nice and tall, reach those arms up high. If you want to take the fold with me, hinging from the hip creases. And then exhale to bow down. I lower to my forearms, but you can feel free to just lower onto your palms. Allow the head to be heavy. Inhale, we'll take ourselves back up. We'll all meet back in that nice figure 4, right leg's long. Big breath in. As we lower down, we're going to straighten that left leg, reach the arms long behind you. Rolling back onto our bellies, head down, palms by the low ribs, pressing into our hands and our knees to find that tabletop. We're going to curl all 10 toes under and find our downward facing dog. So head is heavy, hips are high. Press into your palms and your feet. It's okay if the heels don't hit the earth. The knees could always bend if you have a tight low back or hamstrings. Big breath in. Exhale to soften. I'm going to toe heel my feet out as wide as my mat, or maybe a little wider, bringing my hands to the back of the mat to find my wide-legged fold. So my heels are in, toes are out. I'm going to hold bicep to bicep like a ragdoll wide-legged. And you can just hang here. Allowing your head to drop so you're gazing through your legs rather than down on the floor. Sometimes it feels good just to stay still and hang out here. If you'd like some movement, as I bend into my right knee, I'm going to sway my arms over towards the right. And as I bend into my left knee, I'll sway over to the left. So just going side to side, if that's comfortable or inviting for you. Coming back through center, allowing your hands to drop towards the floor. This is a good place if you want to use those blocks again. You can place them under your hands. I'm going to find my right palm under my nose, lifting my left arm high to the sky. So taking a twist here. As we twist, it's very easy for your left hip to want to pop up and your right hip to want to come down. But that means that the twist isn't really happening through our upper back. So I like to place my left hip, if you want to even bring your hand there, and kind of place your left hip a little further down, squaring them off as the right hip evens out. The gaze can be towards the left, or it could be down on the right palm. Lifting those left fingers as high as you can. As you exhale, let's just exchange hands. Left palm down, right arm high. Again, a block under your hand is always a great idea. Squaring off those hips, the right one likes to inch its way high. Placing both hands back down. I'm going to walk my hands forward, keep the legs wide, that wide-legged high plank, high push-up. And I'm just going to bend my right knee in towards the middle and bend my left knee in towards the middle. Very good. Bring those feet back through center. Exhale to drop those knees, coming onto your hands and your knees. As we transfer our way onto our back, you're going to find that strap, that scarf, that belt, whatever you have with you. So coming onto our back bodies, and I'm going to loop up the arch of my right foot. You have two options with that left leg. You could keep that left knee bent and the left foot down on the floor in line with your hip, or you can straighten that left leg completely. Again, that right ankle aims to be over the right hip. It's okay if that right knee bends, but we're trying to work more on the hamstrings here in our hip, so it's headed more towards straight than bent. Each strap end is in each hand. My foot is flexed, and from here I'm just going to play around with moving my right leg forwards and backwards. Could start with smaller movements. And then we're going to go a little bigger with these. So as I exhale, I bend the elbows. I draw the right leg towards my face. Again, I try to keep the right leg a little more straighter than bent. Inhale, return the right ankle over the hip. Exhale, bring that straight leg towards you. Inhale to let it ease up. A few more times, back and forth. Then we're going to hold the right leg towards our face. Option one, just stay here. This is a lot for your body, so maybe just enjoy this stretch. Option two, if you want to walk those hands up the strap and bend the elbows a little more, it's a little deeper of a stretch. And option three, you can find that core crunch again, picking up the nose towards the right knee and really allowing the back of the leg to open up. Wherever you are, 3 breaths. A nice inhale is going to lower you 1 vertebrae at a time. Head comes down last. Nice and slow, return the right ankle over the right hip. I'm now going to transfer the strap ends into my right hand, left palm on top of my left hip. I'm going to send my right leg out towards the right wall. So you've gone too far if your left butt comes off the earth. So keep that sealed down. That's what the left hand's there for, to help you out. And I use my right elbow as a kickstand. If you want, you could always place a block under that right thigh or extra pillows there if you want some help with the earth. But you're allowing the inner thigh to open up and for that hip to externally rotate. Staying still, or maybe you'd like to have your foot move a little up and down with the bending of the right elbow. As I inhale, I come back through center, right ankle over right hip. Transfer the strap ends, the scarf, the belt, whatever you're using, and allow the right foot to go over towards the left wall. So again, it's really easy here, just pull the strap down and pull the leg, but that's a little different stretch than what we're aiming for. So inch it back up, keep the right glute down, and then think of pulling that right leg more towards the left shoulder or towards your face. So you'll really feel it through the connective tissues here of your IT band, and we're internally rotating that right hip. Shoulders soft. Nice big breath in and a big breath out. And we'll make our way back through center, ankle over hip, strap ends in the hands, and the left foot will just come to meet the right as the right knee comes down, or it could bend, right foot down. You choose to keep the right knee bent or right leg long. And just play around a little, bringing this left leg forwards and backwards. Maybe even bring a little side to side, just warming up the hip even more in this position in space. Then we'll add on from here. As I exhale completely, the left leg heads towards my face. Inhale, ankle over hip. Exhale, bend the elbows. The straight leg comes towards you. Inhale, the belly pushes the leg away. Few more times. And we'll hold the stretch here with the leg closer towards you. This is a great option to just hold and pause here. If you want to, you can walk the hands further up the strap towards the foot. Option 3, finding that core crunch, peeling up the back of the head, bringing the nose towards the knee. Wherever you are, 3 big breaths. Great job, guys. Gently inhale to lower your head, your back body down, ankle over the hip, strap ends into the left hand, and we're gonna bring that left leg out to left side now. Your right glute stays down. Again, if this is very intense, maybe put those blocks or a pillow under the left leg. You're aiming for a feel. It's never how the body looks, it's where the stretch is, what feels good. If you want to add some movement, you can, bending the elbow to in turn move the left leg around. And use the core low back towards the earth, navel to spine. We'll bring the left leg through center, catch the strap ends with the right palm, and we'll take that left leg towards the right wall. Again, it's easy for the left glute to come up. Let's take it down and then head the direction of the left toes towards the right shoulder. 3 big belly breaths here. Returning that left leg through center. Bringing the right foot to meet the left, and just allowing those legs to move a little side to side. Maybe you make complete circles. And then circles the other way. Releasing the strap when you're ready. Coming into happy baby, grabbing either your shins, the inside arches of your feet, or your big toes. The key is to keep the low back on the earth. And maybe you stay still, or adding that movement, you can bend one knee as the other straightens, and maybe you rock a little side to side. Again, this is happy baby, so do whatever happy baby does. You can just kick your legs around. There's no right or wrong. Coming through center and just shaking everything out before we head into our shavasana, our final resting pose. So your shavasana can be taken in any shape. You can return to that supta baddha or that constructive rest. Maybe you just put some pillows under your legs and you just hang out here for a bit. But coming to a place that's satisfying for your body and your mind. And stay there for as many minutes as you'd like, but at least a minute or two to just allow the body to digest everything we've done, download all the movements, and allowing yourself that space to transition back into your daily routine. I'll leave you guys now here, but feel free to just close your eyes, put on a song, whatever you'd like, and drift away. Thank you for practicing, and to each of you, I say namaste.